Okay, so I figured I would do a quick intro while I have this area set up here. So this is the Crossfire series reading vlog that I'm doing. It will be a reread for me for the first 4 books. I have not read the 5th book. I have it, but at the time when it came out, I had read these for years prior, and I had kind of, lost some of what the story was about, and so I didn't want to jump right into the last book. So I wanted to do a reread before I read the last book. So that's what I'm doing now, many years later. I'm pretty sure this is pre Goodreads, but I'm pretty sure these were published in 2012, and I think that's when I read them as they were published. So it definitely can stand on its own. I would say definitely better than 50 Shades. I have 50 Shades as a favorite of mine because it really got me reading, like really knowing what I liked. Basically, I mean, I had been reading romance. I had been reading even books, sexy books a little bit, but it really got me knowing what I liked and what tropes I liked. That I liked angst, that I liked, intrigue. I liked love triangles. So these are the series. These are my like pioneer series. So like I have a shelf that I have these, and this is one of them. So when I say that reading is therapeutic, this series brings back good memories because at the time that I read it, I was going through a time in my life, mentally, emotionally, whatever, a hard time in my life, and my kids were like preteens, young teens, and I took leave of absence from work for a while, and I did some really in-depth counseling, like daily, and learned coping skills and different things. Did group meetings and on one-on-ones, and really learned more about myself and my disorders and things. If you don't know, bipolar, and I have ADHD and anxiety. But I learned a lot more and learned that reading really helped me, the distraction of it. So reading, but anyway, reading was my saving grace, really. So I'm pretty sure I read this around 2012, but it was before my Goodreads days, so it shows that I read it like in, I think, 2016, because that's when I really became active on Goodreads, I think. So I don't know that I put it in at the time I read it. I can't remember, but regardless, the time that I read this, whatever year it was, I don't remember, the series and ones like it was a hard time in my life, and these books were a great escape for me. And for some people, maybe they think, oh, you shouldn't escape into books, you really need to face your stuff, but sometimes you need a break. You can't just be working on yourself all the time. You have to give your mind a break. Take care of yourself. You can only handle so much at a time. So it was a way for me to turn my mind off a little bit to my personal things and be in another world that was unlikely, because this is definitely a series about a toxic couple, and they have a lot of ups and downs and a lot of interference with outer influences from family and friends and stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick intro while I'm got this set up and I don't look like I just rolled out of bed if I don't get another chance. First book, if you read the first book and you're feeling this couple, then you'll really enjoy the series, because the series follows the same couple, which I know some people don't like series that follow the same couple either. And especially for 5 books, it's a long time. You know, how many things can happen to the couple in that. And it goes kind of over a short period of time, but it keeps you interested. It definitely does. Like I said, it's got a little bit of romantic suspense elements to it, I think. But regardless, the point of this was that, you know, I'm glad Cheyenne is the only one I could think of, but she's the one that mentioned it, is bringing back this series, because I really loved it. And I know it doesn't get as much love anymore because it's old. And the billionaire romance doesn't get as much love in general, I think, to either, which I'm kind of over it a little bit too, but I still like it. But I think it's just the memories that are tied to it too. But this couple is great too, Eva and Gideon, even though they're like terrible for each other. You can really feel the love they have for each other too. So that's nice. It's really nice to read about. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for someone. You know, maybe use reading as therapy for yourself. And when I say it, I know it sounds a little bit cliche or whatever, but it has helped me and is continuing to help me. And, you know, it's helped me in the past, so this is what I'm going to go to, you know, when I need, you know, some solace. So read the series. So hopefully I can keep up with this vlog, and I will update you when there is something to update to. I am finishing up this book for a reading vlog for the Crossfire series by Sylvia Day, and I read it back in 2012, and it's been one of my favorite series. We're also going to pretend that it's not 7 a.m. and yes, I did sleep in my makeup, and this is first thing in the morning, so whatever. We're going to ignore that I look crazy. And I also know it's June. I got my iced espresso, but it's freezing in my house, so I'm wearing many layers, so I always look crazy. That's why I don't do more video. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this book before I start on this one. I believe the second, Reflected in You. You may know about the series already because it's been around for such a long time. When was it? This is copyright 2012, so that's when I read it. I think is when 2012 when it came out. But it was around the 50 Shades time. It was after 50 Shades, when billionaire romance was a big thing. And of course I was into billionaire romance, like, of course, because 50 Shades it's also a huge favorite of mine. I've got a shelf with like 4 of my favorite series on it. The Twilight series, the 50 Shades, the Thoughtless series, S.T. Stevens, which is like the craziest love triangle, cheating, rock star, craziest. If I ever read it again, probably, I have reread it, but if I read it like today, I don't think I would like it. But maybe I would. It's just really angsty. So if you want something that's super angsty, it's childish, it's immature, but yeah, there's cheating and all kinds of stuff that people hate. But anyway, and then I've got the Crossfire series all on the one shelf. That's like my favorite series, pretty much, like of which I want to show me a bookmark, which I'll have to look up which Etsy shop I got this from. I think it was like the Wit and Glitter company or something, maybe. But I'll try to link it. But now I lost my place. But I'm on like the last chapter, or the second to last chapter. So anyway, it's a billionaire romance, and I'm excited to be part of this, you know, group of ladies doing this, because Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl. I can't remember who else is doing the vlogging right now. Obviously I'll know by the time I post this, and I will link everybody, but at the time right now I'm thinking of Cheyenne, because she mentioned it, but I'm glad she's wanting to bring this oldie series back for this old lady, because I love it. And I know people, like, think, especially like the 50 Shades, like the writing is really bad or whatever, and the writing isn't bad, I wouldn't say, in this. Definitely 50 Shades writing is not great, but the writing is better. There's a lot going on, so I'm hesitant to go into my synopsis for this book, because I'm bound to spoil something or just over explain, but I'll try. This is the first in the series. I think there's 5 books, but the funny thing is, at the time I only read at the time there was only 4, and the 5th one came out years later than that. So this time around I get to read the last book for the first time, so I'm excited. I'm rereading the first 4 and then reading the fifth one. And we have Ava and she's moved from, I think, California to New York for a job with her best friend Carrie, who lives with her. Her best friend that she's always like kind of helped out. He's kind of a troubled guy and was a troubled kid and as man. He's bisexual, I believe. I'm not sure if they classify it yet, but and at this point in this book, he's bisexual, I would say. She's living with him in New York City. She's got a new job. And then we slowly obviously find out things about what happened back. Like she's kind of not running away, but she's wanting to start over because some things happened back when she was younger and back where she lives, and she just wants a new start. So she goes for a jog to like time the commute to work, like before she starts, and she runs into, and she goes to her new building, which is the Crossfire building or whatever. And then she runs into Gideon Cross, who is part, his family owns Crossfire. They're just billionaires or whatever, and he's young. He's in his 20s too. I can't remember exactly how old he is. And he's got dark past. Anyway, they run into each other. Sparks fly. She doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who she is. Actually, I think he may know at this point because he knows pretty quickly, because of course he has the billionaires always have them investigated and tracked them down and everything. But so it's their romance basically, and she's not working for him. He owns like the building and stuff, but she's not like his boss really or anything. So it's a little bit different there. I don't know. It's a little bit kind of like I said, it's like during the 50 Shades era. So it's got a lot of parallels there, but it's more in issues that each of them have that you find out about. Like I said, I can't get into too much detail about without spoiling things, but all the things you start finding out about their past are really something unique, I think, so a little bit, or at the time they were, that's why I love, I think, at the time, I don't know that I would still, that's the thing with rereads, especially it's been such a long time. At the time, these were all really unique backstories for these characters, the main characters, their pasts and their skeletons in their closets. But now that I've read so many books, obviously, since then, I've seen and read about all these same things, one or all, together in books. But at the time, these were like the pioneer of these tropes that I've come to love. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't really want to get into what tropes what I'm talking about. Like, just basically people with tortured pasts and
Skeletons in Their Closet and Family Secrets. It's giving me a little vibes of the series, Nikki Sloan series. What's that series called? The Initiation. I read the first 3, and that was basically at the time all they came in. But anyway, it's giving me those vibes. And then the way I picture Gideon is totally different, more like a Henry Cavill or something. How he says his name. But that's how I picture him. It's like just big and bulky and dark. And Ava is blonde, so I have to think about who. Do you guys do that? Do you link celebrities or people to, or models or whatever, to your book characters to while you're reading, to picture somebody in your head? I'm sure you must. Maybe I should start doing that. Let's matching my books characters to celebrities and see how what I'm envisioning matches everyone else's. So who do you envision, if you're reading this, or if you do read this, who do you envision as these characters now? And I'm going to finish this one up and start on the second one, this one. So
I'm on the 3rd book now, but I wanted to update that I finished the 2nd book, Reflected in You. It's early Sunday morning. It's 8 something, and everyone's sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet in a different part of the house, but there's not really a good place to film, and it's like super sunny, and this whole vlog is going to be me looking like this first thing in the morning, I think, but I'm determined. So this is, if you wonder why I don't have more videos, this is why, because when I'm able to film is usually when I'm not film ready. But I wanted to talk about this book. So anyway, this is the 2nd book in the Crossfire series. This is just continuing Gideon and Eva's story, and it's a little like 2nd book syndrome. It kind of just like the first one leaves off, doesn't really leave off on a cliffhanger. It kind of just, the first book is just they're together, I believe, they're just a couple. And then this one starts off them doing couple things, and then obviously more things come up from their pasts, both of their pasts, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, anything that's gonna throw in some drama. There's something here that give me a little bit of a romantic suspense vibe. And I think that's part of the reason why this series kept me so addicted, was that there was constant action, and it wasn't super cheesy, and it's more believable. So that's basically this book. I can't talk much. I mean, it's the 2nd book, so it's just continuing Eva and Gideon's love and the angst of them having to be apart for different reasons, or breaking up, or getting back together, or making up. Obviously lots of sexy times. So of course 5 stars again. So again, I probably didn't say it, the first book was 5. These are all still 5 stars. The rating is still solid to me. I think the story is keeping me interested. There's enough going on. So I picked up this one this morning and 20 with you, or last night, but I fell asleep pretty quick. So I'm only on chapter 7. And this one leaves off a little bit cliffhanger, I think. Not cliffhanger, but just kind of leaves in a weird spot. So you want to pick up the 3rd one, of course, or the next one. So I picked this one up. And so we starting, again, it's Eva and Gideon's just anybody that's getting in the way of their love and their relationship and their life together. And obviously Gideon is super possessive alpha hero, and doesn't want anyone to even breathe on Ava or look at her or anything, and she's as jealous as he is. And I did post my pictures of who the characters I think for my Eva and Gideon, and I'm gonna hopefully
maybe I'll post them. And it's the girl that I'm saying for Eva is Gabriella. I think her name is Wild, or Gabrielle Wild. And I remember first seeing her in the remake of Endless Love. Gabriella Wild. I saw her in Endless Love, and then I saw her in Poldark. And so anyway, she's my Eva, I think. And then Gideon, I've always for some reason pictured Henry Cavill. And I first saw him in the Tudors show I watched years ago. Again, during a time when I was reading a lot and watching a lot of TV series, both very therapeutic. I mean, I know it's a little bit, it's like an escapism, like reading and binging series and movies and things. But sometimes that's what you need, just to give your mind a bit of a break from the everyday thoughts going through it, which, I mean, that's how mine is anyway. So when I say reading is therapy to me, watching TV series, like binging a series, like on streaming, now that I love doing that. If I find a series that I get really addicted to, like One Tree Hill, like, oh my gosh, I was obsessed with that show. I didn't watch it when it first was out. Like, my kids were young when that first came out, and I didn't watch a lot of TV, maybe, I don't know. But regardless, once I started binging series and I came across, ones I would like, One Tree Hill was one of them, and I love that show. So if anybody, actually, that's a good question. If anybody knows any book series that are like One Tree Hill, I would love to read that. I loved the music, how it had a lot to do with music. It was centered around high school, at least in the beginning, but it wasn't super juvenile. But anyway, the music I loved. So like that would be fun. But I don't usually love like a rock star romance, and it's not really rock star ish. If you know One Tree Hill, there's a lot of music involved, but it's kind of like a small audience indie type music or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm totally getting off the point, and I may just edit this all out. But if you know any books that are similar to the TV series One Tree Hill, that would be awesome. Or another TV series that I might like also would be nice recommendations for that. My characters for Eva and Gideon. My Eva, and then my Gideon, and I don't know, that's just how I picture, so can't change it now. But like 50 Shades, like I said, I'm sure I pictured something completely different until the movies came out. Okay, I just wanted to update and say that I'm reading this one right now, the third book. This is a 5-book series, so, and I've read 4 before. These are rereads until I get to the 5th book, but I'm hoping I finish this one today, and then I'll have the 4th and the 5th book to go. So this is continuing their story and their drama, and a little bit of the romantic suspense stuff. A little bit of like mystery, and like I think I said last time too, that when I was reading the first book, maybe it was giving me a little vibes of the Initiation by Nikki Sloan series. I mean, it's not like that series is like about, it's not a billionaire. Well, I guess it kind of actually is. Anyway, there are similarities to me for some reason. Although that one involves kind of like a love triangle-ish situation. If you haven't read it, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's the girl and the love interest, I forgot his name, and then his dad is like the other guy, kind of, that's interested. So there's not really any too much of a love triangle. Well, this one sounds like it, if I remember correctly, this one might get a little more love triangle. There's more interruption in their relationship, and that's, anyway, the Initiation series, which maybe I should go grab it. if you like the Crossfire series, you might like this series. So this is the first book, The Initiation, Nikki Sloan. And then I believe is the Session. It's Filthy Rich Americans series. And then The Deception. And then there are 2 more books, which I don't own the 4th one. It's about the dad. Filthy Rich Americans series. It has a love triangle-ish. Not really. I mean, she's in love with the son, but the dad wants her, and he plays dirty and, you know, does a lot of things to try to get her and get her interested, obviously. It's like a little cat and mouse. But for some reason, this gives me, I get this vibes of this series when I'm reading the Crossfire series. So anyway, I read the first 3 books. Back to reading this. It's about 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and I'm hoping I can finish that up today, and maybe pick up the next one. But I've been tabbing a little, and also I have them on Kindle, so I have some Kindle highlights. So I'll probably be doing something with quotes or passages maybe. Anyway, I will update you when I finish this book. I will update you. Talk to you later.
So, I am reading the Crossfire series, and I just finished the 3rd book, Entwined with You. And it's more of, obviously, their relationship, more of their secrets. I can't say a whole lot about these, consecutive books because I don't want to spoil things for you guys, but more family secrets and intrigue and lots to keep you guessing. And then, of course, you've got the push and the pull of Ava and Gideon's relationship that is just a mess. 2 toxic relationship, 2 people with a lot of baggage that keeps getting involved in their relationship and getting in the way of them having just being happy. And in this book, something surprising happens, and I don't really want to say. Kind of big, but it's still there's some criminal stuff going on, so there's secrets, like they have to kind of keep the relationship a secret a little bit. So there's that sneaking around is interesting. But basically, you just the highlights that I've gotten here are like so much of how much they just love each other, and like it's beyond anything they ever expected. How much they want and need and love each other. And it was basically kind of love at first sight when Ava ran into Gideon in the beginning of the first book. He just wanted, it was a physical attraction for both of them, but, and then she eventually gave in, and then it turned into, obviously, way more than that. And I'm going to share plenty of quotes with you guys that have, like, just the best love quotes that I've come across that I've forgotten about. So, I'll just update on that. So, I've started the 4th book, Captivated by You. I'm only on the 1st chapter. I'm hoping I can read some of it today and finish it up tomorrow while I'm working. I'm working from home tomorrow, so I can listen to it. Whatever I don't finish tonight, I can listen to the rest of it tomorrow. And then I will just have the 5th book, which I will probably also start right after. This is the first time I've binged a 5-book series, if I end up doing that, in a while. So I'm really enjoying my reread. So I hope everyone else is too. I just love vlogging. It's fun. I love watching vlogs. So
that makes me like to do them, because, you know, some places I go and some things I do might be interesting to people. So if I can, I like to share them with you. I'm gonna let you go. I gotta go back to work for another hour and a half before I can get out for the day, and then I'll be able to go home and relax and read, and I can even stay up late a little bit because I have to work from home tomorrow, which means I don't have to get up as early and get all ready and leave the house. And it's supposed to be rainy, so I'm looking forward to being able to stay in tomorrow on a kind of cool and rainy day. Stinks. I hope July is nice because I have vacation coming up, a few days off each week, and the holiday obviously, and the weekends. But so I'm hoping I can get lots of reading done or lots of other fun stuff. We'll see. So I'll talk to you when I got an update for the most recent book. I don't have the book with on my Kindle, but Captivated by You, the 4th book in the Crossfire series, is where I am right now, and it's just picking up with Ava and Gideon's relationship, and they've kind of entered a new step in their life. They're living together. And I know the 5th book, I'm pretty sure there's like possibly a wedding in that book, maybe children. I don't know. I haven't read that book yet, so I'm interested. But obviously I've forgotten a ton of things. So this is like almost like reading the first time, but it's bringing back memories. So back to my reading of Captivated by You. Talk to you later. Hello all. It is Monday afternoon. It's about 4:30. Monday. I just got home from work a little bit ago. I'm just chilling in the backyard with the dog, getting a little bit of sunshine. It's gonna be a little bit cooler and a little rainy maybe in the next couple of days. So I'm enjoying the sun while I can. It's still like 70, low 70s, but it's sunny. But I want to read, so I have extra time to read. I have extra time for other projects. And hopefully I can stay on task, because, you know, me and my procrastinating and it's weird because for years and years, it's like I fought it so hard or something, because I was in like the opposite of procrastinator. I would be like, I need to do the thing that I hate the most to get it over with, to do it first. And now it's like I procrastinate, which is weird. So I don't know if it has to do with having younger kids and then being my age now where my kids are adults, or what the difference is, but totally beside the point. Alright, so I will update you, but I just started the 4th book. I think my last clip might have updated that. I might have said that. I started the 4th book in the Crossfire series, Captivated by You. I'm only on like chapter 3, and it's kind of continuation of Gideon and Ava, of course. So this is the 4th book, and then there's one more, which I'm excited for that, the 5th one, because I haven't read it before. Not that I remember much from this book either, because I read them way back when they came out. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope I don't have to edit out too much, and I hope you find any of this interesting. And again, it's like the pooper scooper in the background. I'm sorry. But, so back to Captivated by You, Sylvia Day, Crossfire series, it's the 4th book. Really, I'm going to end this now. So, talk to you guys later. I will update you. I hope I have a good update for you in about maybe an hour or 2 with some reading getting done. So, I'll talk to you soon. Well, good morning. It's Saturday again. And I wanted to do another update on my Crossfire series vlog. I've finished the series, so I read the 4th and the 5th book. So I'm going to do kind of wrap those up. So I'm enjoying
the sunshine today, so I look a little crazy. In my bathing suit, I'm hoping to get a little sun, but I'm not quite there yet. So, but anyway, so let's see. This one, Captivated by You, is the 4th book, and it's just, you know, I mean, it's hard to get into too much description about these, you know, each subsequent book because, you know, it spoils the other books. So, you know, it's just more, you know, we're following the same couple in this series of 5 books, which, can, like, I know sometimes even like following the same couple for 3 books, I'm kind of, which also I was going to show you my shirt in case anyone cared. Reading is my jam. I think I got it on Amazon like a couple years ago, but anyway, so just gonna put the book right here. So this book is more of the, you're getting a little bit more of the suspense aspect, and like more secrets come out, and I'm trying to make this spoiler free, but I don't know how. I need to put something interesting in here to make you want to read this book, so I need to, maybe I'll put spoiler somewhere here just in case. But so by this book, the 4th book, Ava and Gideon have secretly eloped, and a few people, she told Carrie, her best friend, I think, and maybe her mom, she told a few people, but they told a few people, but not many, and so they're planning the wedding, you know, their actual wedding, so they're just acting like they're engaged, but they've actually already gotten married, because Gideon is super, you know, possessive and jealous, and thinks that's what he needs, is to be married to her so that she won't have to leave him, because he's got this distorted view in his mind of, you know, Ava is the first person that he's ever loved, that's like loved him back the same way, you know, in the same way, or what he hopes is the same way, and you know, he just can't be without her. He just needs her. And that's just, I don't know, there's just something about this relationship that it, you know, I mean, I've read tons of romance books, lots of couples, I've loved lots of other couples too, but there is something still special about this couple that I'm you know, remembering, and glad to say that I still really enjoy for this reread. So, but they kind of have, you know, I mean, they just have kind of like a once in a lifetime kind of soul deep kind of love. Like, they just can't be without each other, it seems, and there's so many obstacles constantly in the way, so it's definitely the series. If you love angst, you've got angst in here. I'm trying to make it not too spoilery, but I want it to be interesting. I want to give you reasons to make, you know, pick these books up, not just, oh, they're so good. Like, I mean, there's only so much you can say. So anyway, that's for the 4th book. So I'm gonna stop this clip, and I'm gonna try to wrap up the 5th book. So on to the 5th book, One With You, and that's the final book of the series, the Crossfire series. So I wanted to wrap up the 5th and final book in the Crossfire series for my vlog. I'm outside enjoying the sunshine today, Saturday. It's beautiful. It's supposed to be beautiful today and tomorrow, so I'm hoping I get some sun. But so the 5th book, One With You, and this was my first time. This is the only one that wasn't a reread for me, and this is the longest one too out of them, which it's not like super long, but it's longer. But I mean, it's again, I can't say a ton without spoiling things, but you know, they're continuing to plan the wedding. Obviously lots more secrets, and then obviously conclusion to a lot of things. At the time when I first read the series, I read the first 4, and it felt like complete enough at the time, but I'm obviously really glad that I finally completed the series, and you know, it wrapped some things up. You know, some things happened definitely continuing on with the little bit of a romantic suspense element to it, but I mean, it's still definitely, you know, romance for sure, and lots of spice, and, you know, Gideon and Ava are, like, you know, really a lot of chemistry between the two of them. You know, there's always a lot of other outside influences trying to keep them apart, as usual. You know, more people resurface. But again, more secrets surface, and things happen, you know, some tragic things happen, unfortunately, of course, as well as, you know, we finally get kind of a bittersweet happily ever after between Gideon and Ava. So, I mean, if you love the couple, you're gonna love the conclusion, I think, and be satisfied with the way it wrapped up. You know, again, for this series, I know it's older. Like I said, I think it's originally published in like 2012, and I read it back in the beginning when it had first come out. But I've read a ton since. But I still think the writing held up really pretty well. It wasn't bad. It wasn't juvenile or immature or anything like that. There was plenty of quotes. I've got lots of quotes, which I'm trying to think of a creative way. So sorry, my dog was fighting with a neighbor dog. So, you know, we find out things that have come up from the other books that were kind of just thrown in there, and it wraps things up. I think there is definitely still some plot holes, things that we learned throughout the books that really never came up, and I'm not really sure why if they were important or not, but not much of that. But overall, you know, I loved the series just as, you know, just like I did the first time. I was very happy with the conclusion. And I'm really glad I reread the series. So, thank you to Cheyenne, That's All Book Girl, for you know, coordinating this. I'm sure I wouldn't have done it or followed through maybe if I wasn't trying to be responsible. But anyway, so I'm just gonna enjoy the sunshine for this day. But maybe if I do anything interesting, I will have some more clips to add to this vlog, and then I can maybe start my editing, because that's where I procrastinate. So, but anyway, I know I've probably beaten you guys over the head with this. If you are on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted so much on my stories about, and on my everywhere about the series as I was reading it, because I was like consumed, and I basically binged it, which I did the first time too. So, and I don't do that very often with series. I'm like terrible with starting them and not finishing. So totally off topic here, but I'm wrapping it up. So Crossfire series, it's a wrap. All 5 books down, and I'm a happy romance reader, because I love this couple, and I don't care if it's like, I know some people aren't gonna like this for sure. It's like 50 Shades. Like, even though I know 50 Shades is cheesy, I still love it, and I've reread it, and I've watched the movies multiple times, even though again they're very cheesy. But I don't care. So I would love them to make these movies, and I remember at some point they were talking about making them, but I don't think they ever did, or if they will. But maybe we can hype them up and get them to make something. Maybe Passion Flix will do it, because they seem to be good at picking up, and also Netflix obviously has been great at picking up our favorite books and making them into series or movies. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I hope I have some more fun stuff to add for you guys. But thanks for watching. I hope it was interesting, and I hope you guys will pick up this series. Thanks. Talk to you soon.